Hello and welcome to a channel update. I felt it was time that we had a little talk about what's on the channel because a lot of what's actually on the channel has changed quite a bit since last time we had an update. So, where should we start? Let's start positive. Let's start with Hearts of Iron 4. It is fantastic. I love the game. I'm having a lot of fun playing it, which is why it's currently at about 7 episodes a week. I originally thought that it would be like Stellaris, which I didn't really play that much of. We'll talk about Stellaris later. But Hearts of Iron 4 I thought was only going to be one series, and then we're just going to leave it. I think we're going to do 2 series. We're going to finish the one that we're currently doing, the Communist Portugal playthrough. And then we're going to... well, that should be finished this week. In fact, I know it finishes this week, because I already recorded the end. And then we're going to start another one. We're probably going to start maybe another small country, and we're going to try and play this one a little bit more tactically than the previous one. We'll see how that goes. But anyway, yeah. So that's Hearts of Iron 4. It's going to stay 7 episodes a week, because when I'm recording that, I can just keep recording that. Like, I don't get burned out if I record too much of it. And it goes at a good enough pace, and there's enough interesting stuff in there that, you know, I think we can keep going with that as a permanent fixture. At least for another series. I might stop after another series and wait for DLC. Or wait for a patch, just because I don't want to be burned out on that game. I really, really like playing it. And I don't want it to be like EU4, where I just played so much of it that I just didn't want to play any more of it. So, yeah. We'll play we'll play lots more Hearts of Iron 4. It's a lot of fun. Also, I've been getting things from my analytics saying things like, hey, your Hearts of Iron 4 got more views in the first 4 days than any of your other videos in the past 6 months, which is really cool for a new game. And I have notes saying that I'm getting some new people finding the channel through it. It's really kind of cool. And, yeah, it's good when people enjoy watching it and I enjoy playing it. That's kind of exactly what you want to look for. Next thing, well, I suppose we could just continue on good things. Pathfinder, the RP stuff. Now, this is something that you may not have expected, but it's a cool, different thing. I think it's something that we're gonna do on Saturdays anyway. Like, whether this goes up on, like, whether this was a channel thing or not, this was always gonna happen on Saturdays between 6 and 10. Like, whether we streamed it or whatever. Like, even if we decide to stop streaming it in the future, this will still continue on Saturdays between 6 and 10. Like, we are enjoying it a lot ourselves. So putting it up on the channel was kind of just a way for people who were watching the stream to view it. Because I was the person with the channel it was easiest to put it up on. I mean, I believe that Googlefly is putting it up on his channel, and maybe Chris is putting it up on his, but, you know, it was just a place for it to be. And it got some good reception. Now, I would like to ask a question for people who have watched it, because the first week got like between about 70 and 100 views a video, which is reasonable. And then the second week got about 50 views or 60 views, and then it was a sharp drop, like to about 19. Then it's dropped to about 5 from the time this video is being recorded. Now, I'm wondering whether it's too much content being put out in too large chunks, and whether you would prefer it to be spread out over a longer time period. For instance, would you prefer me to, instead of putting... Because what I do right now is we do 4 hours a week, and typically we're doing 2 breaks in those 4 hours. So I put up like hour 1, hour 2, and then like the last hour and a half. And that seems to be fine. But if it's too much content at once, sometimes people have asked me in the past to split things up into like half-hour things. So say if we record it on Saturday... like if we stream it on the Saturday, I can get the first episode out by the Monday, and we could do maybe half an hour chunks, so it'd be like half an hour chunks each day, including the Saturday, that then the next episode is streamed on. That could be an interesting idea. That could be a way to do it, but I want to know from the people who have watched it how you would like it to be split up. Because obviously the natural breaks are at the hours. But I can try and find a spot about half an hour in that seems alright, and then we can cut it. Anyway, that's something for you to tell me. We'll see how it goes. Other things. Let's continue going on with good things. The Ironborn series, I have got a new way of putting in courtiers. Like, I'm putting them in larger chunks. And this is actually working. This is fixing a lot of the problems I had with recording it. Before recording it, I had a lot of problems where I wasn't able to, like, record it. I wasn't able to record in advance very well because I had to stop after each episode to put in new courtiers. The way I'm doing it now means that we add as many as we were adding before, but I'm able to get like a little bit of backlog going. Even if it's just a day's backlog, that actually helps quite a lot in putting out the videos consistently. So that's cool. There's no other problems with it. The series is nowhere near an end, so nothing more to say. And the Ratman series we have saved from Oblivion. It looked like it was going to be a dead series because it looked like it was going to keep crashing, but I've recorded about 4 episodes now of no crashes. The new patch seems to be very good, and yeah, apart from the mod itself being a little bit slow, which is just a mod issue in general, it seems to be going pretty well. Right. Other things that are kind of alright. Divinity, it's fine. We had some problems recording, well, finding recording time last week and the week before, but Divinity's going to continue. We're both enjoying it, and we're starting to discover a lot of new cool stuff. So yeah, Divinity is. I think we're nearing end game on Divinity. Like, I keep saying this, but like, it seems like we're finishing significantly more quests than we're receiving right now. So I like that. So what have we talked about? We haven't talked about Jade Empire or the cancelled Stellaris series. Let's do Stellaris first. Stellaris is a series which has been cancelled due to a game-breaking bug, which was unfortunate. I was enjoying it, but I was getting the feeling that we were reaching, like, I don't know. Some people were saying the late game of the game isn't that good, and I can see why. It's a little bit underwhelming once you get later in. Like, early game is really cool. It's got lots of exploration. It's got lots of decisions. It looks like the decisions that you make don't actually affect too much, if you know what I mean. Like, it's like, I'm a materialist. I like all these materials. I'm gonna destroy all these aliens to get more materials. And yeah. And the other lads, we're pacifists. We're going to be friends with the other aliens. We're going to get some benefit that way. But it's like, there's no consequences from what I could. No major consequences from the way you played. Maybe if I played it again, I would notice more. But it seemed like it's missing something. I don't know what that thing is, but it's missing it. And I might come back to it in a later patch if it seems like they have discovered what was missing. It's probably going to be a DLC if it is that. But that does give us an extra slot. So, Jade Empire. Jade Empire, I recorded to the end of the game. Like 2 weeks ago, we were meant to be at the end of the game, and it was meant to be over. Unfortunately, I had like over 4 hours of corrupted footage, which is just the worst. To be honest, what I should have done is I was trying to record it all at once, but what I should have done is I should have at least stopped and started the recording a few times, so that way I would only lose a certain amount of footage. But yeah, I lost a lot of footage, so that's why Jade Empire's kind of was on a little bit of a break. It's now coming back. There's like, I'm just doing. It's gonna probably be like another week and a half, because I don't have time to do another 5-hour recording thing, so I can get like long episodes in. So we're gonna have shorter episodes, but it'll end. It'll be over. After Jade Empire, I have some thoughts. Now, you see, I actually have Undertale sitting over here as the next thing I'm gonna do. I'm thinking I might just put Undertale in the Stellaris slot and just do it there. I think that would be better. And maybe I won't even do 5 episodes of Undertale in a week. Maybe I'll do like 3 episodes of Undertale, and then, but I'll do editing. Ugh, I know, it's the crazy word. But I was also thinking for Jade Empire that I might replace it with maybe a more open world game, like possibly Oblivion or something like that. Or I would say Skyrim, but there's like a new Skyrim version coming out that was announced at E3, so I really don't want to do Skyrim. If I was going to do something like Skyrim, I would want to do Skyrim after that was released, because it makes modding a lot better, apparently. But yeah, maybe something like Oblivion, and then again do maybe a more heavily edited series. I think that could be cool. But we'll talk about it. We'll think about it. Now, after the end is the only thing I have not talked about, and these other CK2 mod things. Now, the reason I'm not like rushing to do these is that there is no rush to do these. That's the thing. For Hearts of Iron 4 to put it down into complete, complete what's best for the channel kind of view, Hearts of Iron 4 is better for me to do for the channel as a thing, because it's a newer game and it's going to get more search traffic. More people want to watch Hearts of Iron 4 than want to watch After the End. As a general term, like on YouTube, if you were to just pick like large groups of people. Now, this doesn't mean that more people who were on my channel want to watch these things, but at a certain point, I do have to try and expand who's watching the channel. Well, if I want the channel to grow, which I do. That's a goal that I want I want it to grow, because I think that's good for keeping the content interesting. If I have a goal like the channel should be growing at this rate, that's something that should be happening. Now, the channel, let's talk about it in more general terms as well. It's actually been growing a little bit slower than it has in the past. I suspect this is because I have a lot of series that are ongoing. Like, I have the Ironborn series, which has been going for like 40 episodes. I have Divinity, which is going for 70. Jade Empire has been going for 40. Ratman's been going for 20. Stellaris was going for like almost 30 episodes. Even Hearts of Iron 4 is going for like 20 episodes. So I suspect that you tend to get an influx of subscribers when you start a new series. So I suspect we're going to see a very large jump in the channel growth when some of these series start to end, and then I start new ones. The channel is just going to grow massively at that point. I mean, by massively, I mean like maybe 50% more than it's growing now. But that's still not that much. But it's reasonable. But I just wanted to say and I also feel like I'm not doing the best on consistency right now, which is also hurting the channel growth. Like, the watch time has gone down. Well, views have kept going up. Watch time, subscribers, and what's the other one? And I can't remember the other statistic, but those have gone down since the last. It does since the last 30 days. So they're not decreasing so much. They're just not increasing at the same rate as they were previously, if you know what I'm meaning. Like, for subscribers, I'm still gaining subscribers by quite a significant margin above 0. But I'm not necessarily I think the best way to phrase it, but I'm not gaining them as quickly. Like, the rate of change is not as good as it was, which is entirely on me. I feel like if I was more consistent with the content I was putting out, it would be better, because there would be more videos. It would look more active as a channel, look a little bit less random about what's going out. Anyway, that's just my thing. I'm going to try and be more consistent, which is why I'm changing things like the Ironborn series in how I do things that are out of the game. Because in terms of pure amount of time that I could record games, I shouldn't have a problem recording all this. The problem is in the little things like the Ironborn series, where I have to stop recording to do something else, which isn't recording, but that still takes up time. But if I get it so that I can kind of put those bits in time where I can't record but can still be at a computer, that can fix some things. Anyway, I'm just waffling at this point. Another thing I'd like to talk about is, I was a while back talking about Patreon as a possible thing that I could put on the channel. I'm kind of going away from that. And I'm not going into ads or anything, but I'm just going away from Patreon because, again, I feel like if I'm not going to be consistent with the content, I don't really want to be putting out a thing that's saying, subscribe to my consistent I'm putting out this. I feel like Patreon is a service. It's saying, I want to provide this service to you, and you can support that service. But, yeah. I don't feel like that's quite the point the channel's at yet. If I had better upload speed and things like that, I would probably go for that, because I'd be able to be more consistent with things I put out. But anyway, there we go. I am considering something that I see a lot of streamers doing, which is just putting up a again, this is, I'm not pressuring anyone to opt into this. I'm considering putting in like a, just a donation thing. Like, if you go onto my channel, you see there's like a little Twitter link. I would just put in like a little PayPal link there or something. And then it would be complete. I just speak about it once or twice, and then just never mention it again. And just leave it there. And I think that could be an interesting idea for people who want to support the upkeep of the channel. Well, anyway. That's just my general musings, and I felt that it was worth saying it out loud so that people could give their opinions on it. Because, to be honest, it's your opinions are really what affects what goes on the channel anyway. So, yeah, that's about it. Anything else? Well, as usual, if you have any suggestions for the channel, I am listening, and just because I don't have the suggestions over in this corner here like I had in the previous video doesn't mean they're not there. It's just I moved them from this to make it a little bit easier to read, even though it's still a little bit hodgepodge and a little bit awkward. Anyway, it works for me. It's fine. Yeah. Also, these these slots have, as of late, got a little bit mixed up, and I'm going to try and get it more so that things are consistent on days and times. So also, what would be useful to know is that for people watching the channel, when do you come on to check videos? Like, if you were to give a rough point in the day that you would come on, just say like, do you come on like 4 o'clock in the afternoon? Do you come on at 6 o'clock in the evening? That's useful information if you have it, and it would be really useful for me, as it tells me when I want my videos to be up by. Because if you're coming to check videos at 6 o'clock, and I'm putting my videos up at 7, that's a bad setup for me. So, you know, it's worth knowing if you've got it. Also include your time zone, because otherwise it's just going to be weird. Anyway, it's going to be difficult to use. But anyway, that's about it. The other thing is just to remind you of the RP streams location change, because week 1 we're on twitch.tv/googlefly. We are on twitch.tv/Dryadney. And we do interact with chat a surprising amount for a show, which I quite like. And, you know, come check it out. We're going to be off for 2 weeks due to we have some people moving flats and things, but we will be back and we will be level 2 characters. So it's going to actually, the story and all of the things that our abilities to do more in the world, like we're going to have a lot more abilities and we're going to be able to interact more and we're going to be stronger, so we'll be less afraid of like necessarily going into combat. So it'll be cool. Not that we're that afraid of going into combat in the first place, but anyway, again, I'm just talking rubbish. Thank you for watching, and yeah, I'll see you in whatever video you choose to join me with next. Goodbye.